See, I now have a small issue. If you saw my last video, you'd know that I've been working on lessening my hours spent on my phone. And thankfully, I've been able to do so pretty well. But now I have a bit of a void to fill. I've started to reconnect with some desires that I have and things that I just want to do. Desires, I've learned, come from two places. Either from us or from the outside. See, I believe that every desire has some sort of outside motive, but the point is this. For example, do I want to work out because men work out, or do I want to work out because I want to work out? Is it you, or is it society? Because society is outside, and you is you, obviously. Anyways, the point is, there are some things I want to do, and whether or not I'm doing them because of outside impulses or internal drivers doesn't really matter to me right now. I'm having fun doing what I'm doing, so why would I be too concerned about where they come from, at least currently? But the perfectionistic-esque self part of me thing has a problem saying, why am I starting these hobbies if I'm not going to commit to learning them? About a year and a half ago, I started learning Japanese. I told myself I would give myself 5 years, and then after those 5 years, I would decide if it was worth it or not. After a year, though, what I realized was that I couldn't keep going at the pace that I was going, so I had to slow down, and I had to slow down a lot. And at this point today, I'm studying very, 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 very little, to the point that you could argue I'm kind of not. Now, I sometimes fear that I can't commit to anything. And I have more proof than just this Japanese example to say so. Therefore, I typically just concern myself with new hobbies if I'm basically guaranteed I'm going to learn them to a pretty high extent. But I'm starting to think that my perception is a little bit off. If I force myself to commit to something early, before really ever trying it, I'm starting to think that that might not be a very good idea. That's like committing to an engineering degree before you've ever done anything in engineering. So anyways, my plan, pretty simply, is just to deal with the commitment thing in due time. So for now, I'm just going to do stuff that I think I might like to see if I actually do like it. The key? Do stuff before you have some grand long-term plan of how it's going to work out. For example, let's take a look at my amateur attempt at learning some Japanese Sign Language, or JSL. Let me walk you through how I got here real quick. At first, a kid watches a silent voice, and he considers it to be the best thing he's ever seen. A few years later, that same kid, older and definitely more mature, watches a sign of affection. And then the thought pops into his head. Wouldn't it be cool to know some JSL? And boom, here I am. But months, you say. Calling me Months instead of John for some reason. Do you even live in Japan? What are you gonna do with JSL? You don't know anyone who knows Japanese and is deaf, do you? And to that I say, yeah. But let's think about this more practically. Let's say one day I do go to Japan, that lovely island nation. Maybe I'll need a passport and get on a well-drawn plane and find my way there, at least somehow. Then let's say, while I'm there, perhaps I do meet someone. Someone who knows Japanese but happens to be deaf. Maybe then we can talk about the wonders of America, hot dogs and hamburgers. But most realistically, let's say that maybe I just have a fun time learning something new related to something I love. That sounds good enough for me. And so I started. Currently, I'm learning a little every week. I mean, very little, like 10 minutes once a week, but I'm having so much fun in doing so. And I never would have known how fun it could be if I had never decided to start in the first place. How about another example? I watched Pirate Software's Make Video Games video, and while I now have a serious drive to make a video game, I decided the coolest sounding thing he mentioned was the free way to make music.
That's a free tool that you can use, or like NES-style chip tunes. If you love that old...
So what did I do? Did I come up with a 3-month plan to create an album from this free system? No, I just downloaded it and started playing with it. I had to look up multiple tutorials to get the hang of it. But now, the song you hear in the background of this video was made by me. Let's take a moment to appreciate it. Is it that good? Nope, not really. But I made it, and I feel pretty proud about that fact. And again, there was no long-term plan to this. I didn't even plan to use the song in this video. I just wanted to make a little song. I think there's one more thing I should mention here though. I've gotten rather lucky. It's not very common that a lot of the stuff you do, you'll enjoy. For example, not long ago I tried learning the guitar, and personally, I didn't really enjoy it. Along with that, I tried learning programming. And rather than not enjoying it, I found it to be the most infuriating thing I think I have ever done in my entire life. The point I'm getting at is this. At least personally, I need to try something before I understand anything about it. I can rationalize all I want, but I might as well just do the dang thing. If I work on it a little bit, maybe I'll learn about it, and by learning about it, I'll know whether or not I like it. God knows that school never taught us how to learn, so we might as well have fun teaching ourselves. Finally, I would like to touch on something that has the highest potential of becoming regular in my life. I created a Substack, or basically a blog, for the sake of writing about stuff that I just like. What happened was I realized that most of the people I know don't like the stuff that I do. So if I can't talk about it, I might as well write about it. And sure, this channel helps a bit, but I wanted a completely solitary thing with no real defined purpose. Did it turn into a bunch of anime reviews? Yeah, maybe, but the point stands, I can make it about anything I want. No one even reads it, but maybe someday someone will. Maybe someday I'll have a major site and so many fans. But that doesn't matter. I just want to talk about what I like. I try to write once every Friday and then upload. If I don't like what I wrote, I still have to upload something. That really helps with my perfectionism and with my writing skills. Overall, I'm having a lot of fun, and the only reason I started was because I heard that it was free. Don't worry too much about where stuff will go. You can ask yourself that after you've already tried the thing a little bit. So basically, just try stuff. It's important to note though that you might not like what you're doing right off the bat. It could take some time, and that's totally fine. There's a lot of things that people do that at first they don't enjoy it, but later on they start to enjoy it. This video was made in the hopes of inspiring people like myself to just take the first step, to stop obsessively overthinking and move forward. I in no way intend for this video to be considered a way to find what you're fulfilled in or how to pursue it. Nor am I saying that this is a good long-term strategy or that it'll work for everyone. So I suppose what I'm saying is that desires and skills and hobbies can be very complex, and I do not mean to downplay that at all. But perhaps the most important thing to remember is to take everything I just said with a grain of salt. I'm still pretty young and dumb, and I learned everything that I just said from personal experience and from older, wiser people than me. So your mileage may vary. So I guess overall, just try to have some fun. Life is short, so smile while you still have teeth.